So I don't know if you guys have heard about this game, but I'm here to give my thoughts on it. What's going on, guys? Corrosive here, bringing more new content to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving my first impressions and breaking down the game structure for Naruto x Boruto Ninja Tribes. This game is available on mobile devices coming at the end of the month, as well as browser that you can play right now on your favorite browser. You can even do it on your browser on your mobile phone. So I've been playing this game for the past week, and based off my initial thoughts, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you guys have ever played a game like Marvel Future Fight or what is it, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I think is what it's called. If you played games like that on mobile, then it's somewhat similar in structure to how those games are kind of built. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this going forward with all our other first impression breakdown videos, is I'm going to kind of break it down in segments. So we're going to cover obviously gameplay. We're going to cover gameplay. We're going to cover missions and events. We are going to cover characters and upgrades. We're going to cover summons, and we're going to cover shop and missions. So this is going to be somewhat of a long one, guys, so hang tight with us. If you guys enjoy this video, please hit that like button. Comment down below if you've been playing the game, what characters you've pulled, and if you would recommend this to your friends. Subscribe for more content as well. And with that said, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to kind of get into with this is gameplay. So when you go in, and the main aspect of this, obviously, is the combat. How does it function? How does it work? Well, it's a little different from other types of mobile games. It's pretty interesting. So it can technically be classified as a turn-based RPG, but it's very bare bones in terms of what you can do in it. So as you can see here, you got your team's formation set up. So you can bring in a character, or up to 9 characters, onto your team, and you can organize each squad into 3 separate categories. Now, synergy, there's a little bit of synergy that comes with the characters that you choose to bring in, and there's a little bit of level of complexity, not a whole lot, but enough to kind of keep things somewhat interesting. So I'm just going to kind of jump into it and kind of go over how this is kind of plays out. Okay, so the first thing we need to notice when you jump in here, this is your team setup, right down here. Your team setup rotates to the right. This is your main squad. Your main squad is who's going to be out on the field at one time. And as you click on these characters to choose who attacks, this rotates to the right. The first character is going to be on your far left. They are always going to attack first. Obviously, in most games like this, you also have your traditional color wheel that determines your rock, paper, scissors mechanic. Obviously, you got attack, you got defense, and I believe the T is referred to as either tech or technique or tactical. The big thing about this is your speed. As you develop your characters, your character's speed determines who attacks first in this turn-based segment of the game. So obviously we have 450. Enemy team is 30. So I'm obviously going to go first because I have the higher speed. Now, remember when I brought up those team formations? This is how it comes into play. So you got 3 different team formations. You got your blue, yellow, and red. Obviously, by themselves, you cannot you can only select one character at a time. However, if you have two of the same exact color next to each other, 2 units will attack, up to 3 units will attack at one time. So you can attack as a group, or you can attack individually. It all just depends on how you decide to approach each battle. Obviously, the enemy has a very similar setup. They do the exact same thing. You can select, just by clicking on the character, who you want to focus your attacks on. Now, let's just kind of go into how this operates. So, take into consideration your color wheel. And take into consideration your team's advantage type. Obviously, we have T, we have A, right? Just for the sake of purposes of showing you how this do it, we're going to not click for advantage. We're going to click for just color. Alright, so a turn has passed, as it shows right there. Again, we're just going to click, and we're going to click. Just like that. Now, like I said before, when 2 colors from the same team are next to each other, side by side, you are able to create combos with those characters. So for example, I'm going to click on both of these. Both Tamari and Neji are now both able to attack. Obviously, when you defeat an enemy, it automatically changes to, you know, the next person in the rotation. Alright. So here's where some of the appeal for this combat is. I know the combat in this is relatively basic, as you can probably tell, but here's where it kind of comes into play. So you have characters. Each character has their own sets of abilities and passives that make each character unique. When your character glows like this on screen, they are able to activate their special ninjutsu or their special techniques. For example, holding down on the character, you can pop up their stats. We don't have her high enough in level to unlock her passive ability, her shinobi trait, but her special ninjutsu deals damage to all active enemies with a fixed chance to heavily wound them. It also lowers the enemy's defense for 2 turns. So keep this in mind when you are building your teams. But, as I said, this is where it kind of comes into play here. So Naruto is going to attack. So when you use a special ninjutsu, it's going to be specifically animated to show off the character a little bit. Every character has something like this. So we're going to do this again. I'm going to slow it down just so you can kind of see it. But now we got Sarada here. Sarada's is relatively similar to Tamari. Special ninjutsu, Fireball Jutsu, deals damage to all active enemies with a fixed chance to burn them. Lowers damage reduction rate of enemy defense shinobi for 2 turns. So we're going to click that, and we're going to damage both the remaining enemies. And this is what I kind of give this game props for. The animations are pretty decent. They are very decent. Now, as the game develops over time, these animations could get better, like it is with every other game like this. But again, it's a matter of perspective. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're going to activate Sakura's ability. Her ability allows you to heal everybody in your current party. Those that are out on the field. Which can be handy. And we just lost Rock Lee. Wonderful. Wonderful. Alright. We're just going to end this right here. Or are we? Nope, there is one other thing I wanted to show you guys. So I'm going to let them attack. So I can showcase to you guys the last little bit of gameplay that is offered in this type of game. Alright. Last thing to show you guys is down here. These are your tribe specials. This is why I mentioned at the beginning of this segment why it's important to create synergy between your team formations. So with tribe specials, if you have specific characters that are linked to each other, you can create new specials. And these specials are overpowered and are meant to deal massive damage to your enemies. So for example, because I have Sarada and Sasuke together on the same team, they can do a tribe special because of their lineage or history. And as you can see over here in the description, deals 100% damage plus 40% damage to all active enemies with a 60% chance to burn them, plus deal 1200 burn damage on top of it. Damage taken at the start of each turn for 4 turns. So it does, over time, it does 1200 damage if it gets the burn in, on top of doing 140% damage. Also, it deals 30% extra damage to tactical shinobi. We're going to click this to showcase the tribe specials, and I'll slow down the speeds for you to see. And that's the gameplay, guys. That is literally what the combat's all about. In my opinion, it's not bad. It's very bare bones. There's a little bit of strategy that you kind of got to put into it in terms of team building. And you do kind of need to think about your moves as you kind of play. How in-depth this goes down the road has yet to be kind of seen. So we will keep an eye on it and whatnot and see if it improves in any particular way. But for what it is, it's not that bad. So next we're going to go into the type of content that is in this game. Let's go do that. So here are your standard missions. This is your basic, I guess, quote-unquote story mode that you can delve into. You got your standard missions, which kind of go over your basic standard story. This is where we kind of showed you the gameplay. I'm on Chapter 4 currently, but as you can see, there's about 9 combat battles in each segment. We're getting ready to go on to Chapter 5. And that's all she wrote, essentially, in terms of the standard missions. The story itself, as it stands right now, where I'm currently at, it's very, very minimalistic. There's not much substance here. Some of the conversations that kind of go into place is not terrible, but again, it's very minimalist, and there's not much substance there. As you go through each of these missions, obviously, you can get 3 stars, and when you 3-star each mission, you are able to skip said mission to gain resources, which you use to upgrade your characters and whatnot. With every 3 stars, or with every 9 stars you collect, not only do you open up a reward chest for completing those 3 events, but if you can get all 9 stars from these first 3 missions, you got a progress bar down here that opens up additional chests, which give you additional items. These items can range from Rio, which is the in-game currency, Shinobi coins, which you use to do your character summons, promotion elixirs, which is used to upgrade, and you get particular fragments, which you can use to obtain characters or upgrade said characters even further. Those all go up to 3, and as it builds up. The rewards that you get from completing these builds up. So just in terms of summoning coins, which is obviously the currency that most people are going to care about. Shinobi coins, for the gold chest you get 15, for this you get 10, for the silver you get 10, and then for the bronze you get 5. So on top, so that's what? 30? You get 30 Shinobi coins on top of the standard crates that you get just for completing each segment. So you get 10 there, get 10 there, then you get 10 there. So all in all, per chapter you get 60 coins. Isn't bad. Obviously, it's enough to kind of keep you playing and whatnot. It all really just kind of depends on how far the standard missions go, but that's really all that is. Elite missions are similar to like that of, like I said, Future Fight, Galaxy of Heroes, and whatnot. You go through, you fight tougher characters. When you beat those characters, you get the Shinobi fragments, as I mentioned before, which you can use to either obtain or upgrade existing characters that you own. You obviously can skip these for a certain number of times each day, and in doing so, you can actually build them up. One critique I will have on this is the number of Shinobi fragments that do drop is very small. You maybe get 1, 2, maybe 3 fragments at one time. And for some of these characters, the number can be pretty high, especially when you're trying to get dupes of characters to, improve said characters. So these are decent for grinding out if there's a particular character that you want to get, but all in all, you don't really get much from this. You probably get more from doing summons than you would from getting this. Gold Rush it's like Gold Rush and EXP drills are in a way pseudo raids. You go in, you fight Naruto, you fight Sasuke, depending on how well you do and how well you beat them. How well you do and how well you beat them in each particular drill, you get an increase in rewards. The better you do, the better the rewards. And obviously doing these are essential daily in order to build up your in-game currency as well as your upgrade items. So these are all your standard missions. Then you got your events. Now I haven't really unlocked a whole lot of these, and I'm just going to go off of conjecture based off what the descriptions of each of these are. So please bear with me as I kind of fudge this up, possibly. So Ninja Arena, this is your PvP, non-PvP game mode. Again, like in Future Fight and Galaxy of Heroes, you go in with a pre-existing pre-built team. You choose your match opponent. You go in, and if you beat your opponent, you gain rank points, which goes towards rewards. Similar arena type stuff. I believe Final Fantasy Brave Exvius does this as well with their quote-unquote PvP. They're not really going up against extra players. You're more or less going up against computer AI of pre-existing teams that people have built. So, again, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really need to go into too much detail with this. Raids are linked to alliances, which are like your guilds, essentially. You go in, you fight, singular bosses. If everybody in your guild contributes to beating the boss, then everybody in the alliance gets rewards for doing so. Tower of Eternity seems very interesting. I'm not entirely... It's really interesting because you use all of your unlocked Shinobi in all-out battle to conquer the Tower of Eternity. It's an interesting concept. I don't know if I've seen this in other games like this before, but it is definitely interesting. It's different. It feels different from what I've seen. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I am absolutely certain that this is somewhat unique to this particular game. Joint exercises, create a team with other players and join forces in battle. This is similar to Pokemon Masters and their co-op. This is essentially your co-op mode in some way, from what I can tell just based off a description. How it's kind of set up, I don't know if you set up one team here, another player sets up your blue team, another person sets up the red team, or how it works. But I believe this is more or less your co-op mode, similar to Pokemon Masters, and you guys conquer event stages with this. And then you have Ninja World Tournament. You create 5 of your best 3-man cells, and you aim for the top of the Ninja World. In some manner, I want to believe that this is similar to Ninja Arena in some capacity, but this is more like your ranked type of game. I believe this is more ranked than anything else. But that's more or less your events and missions. Once I get higher up in level, I will come back again in a future video, and I will go over what some of these game modes are and correct myself to some capacity once I actually get my hands on these. But that's more or less it for that. Let's go on to character building and customization. So here we are on the Shinobi list. This is where you can go to upgrade all of your characters, as well as see what characters you do have and who you still need. At launch, currently, there is a decent amount of characters. It's all your standard, you know, 3-man cells from the show. You got, obviously, you got your Shippuden, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. You got Ino Shikocho, obviously. You got the Boruto gang, Sarada, Mitsuki, Boruto that you can get. You got Yamato as a random person in there. You got Konohamaru, Guy, Rock Lee, Hinata. All like it's basically the main group. The what do they call it? The 9, I guess is what they're called on the show. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. Basic characters there, but you also got some other stuff that's kind of interesting too. You got Kabuto in here. You got the Sand Trio. You got Sarutobi, Kashi, Sakura for the Boruto Sakura. You got Darui, Zabuza, and Haku. So there's a decent selection of characters. Within a couple multis, you should, in most cases, you guys should be able to pull most of these characters at least once. But yeah, let's just go into character development. So in terms of character upgrading, I'm going to be completely frank. I am not crazy about this system. Not that it's a bad system in any way, but there is just so much you have to upgrade on these characters. I believe other games like this are not as extensive in terms of upgrading your characters. But I'll get into that in just a second. So with this, obviously, you got your profile, which gives you a nice little description of each character, which is pretty cool. Shows you all your current stats in terms of their performance. It shows your link bonus when you have these 3 characters in your group. All these characters get a bonus of some sort, which is really cool. You don't see this a whole lot in other games like this. This is one of the cool aspects of this. So like if you have Sai, Shippuden Sakura, Shippuden Naruto, your attack plus 20 on all of these Shinobi when you have them unlocked, which is really cool. They don't need to be on your team or nothing, which is neat. So, and then you got a expand button to kind of see the art. And the art in this game is beautiful. The art in this game is absolutely stunning, and especially when you hit 5 stars on characters. Hopefully, in a future summoning video, I can hit 5 stars and showcase it to you guys. So here's your character power. You can upgrade tiers. As you upgrade, you have all these different stats in which you can upgrade. You got your level, and then like in every other game, your level for your characters is locked to your account level, which sucks. But I guess in some capacity, that's nice too, because obviously it's a grind, and the limit, I guess, kind of helps level out the amount of grinding you need to do. So, Awakening, you get Awakening using Shinobi Omnifrags. If I do this, let me see. I am not sure what this does. I'm afraid to kind of test it out. Well, you know what? For the sake of the video, I am going to drop 1. We're going to drop 1 into this, just to kind of showcase to you guys what that does. Okay, so one of those gives you 1 full piece of the Shinobi fragment. So, don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously it's a free way to get fragments, but I don't know if it's a better method or not. So, anyway, back to it. Tribe specials. This showcases all of the tribe specials that each character is able to do. At some point, you will be able to upgrade your tribe specials as well to increase more damage. As you can see, this Naruto has 4 different ones that they can do. He's got one with his son. He's got one with his teacher. Got one with his entire Shippuden original cell. And then he's got the cell with Sai that he can do damage with as well. You can kind of see enhance and awaken these specials down the line. Here's the part I am not a fan of. The enhancements and gear. This is going to be your main grind. You think the crystals are going to be your main grind for summons? No, this is your main grind. So, obviously, when you promote, you have your promoting. Promoting, once you have the varied items here, you are able to increase their tier level. And increasing their tier level greatly jumps their stats. This is probably the one thing that I would recommend most people spend their time into doing, because the jump per tier is pretty substantial. It's about maybe 300 or 400 all around in all your stats. Except your HP. Your HP goes up significantly. But I would recommend, if you're going to play this game, that you focus on hoarding and grinding for these first before anything else. Your next is your skills. There's a lot of skills that you can do, that you can upgrade with these characters, and it's all relative based on what stars they're at. As you increase their star rating, you unlock more abilities. And all these have do from your ninjutsu, your special ninjutsu, and increases the stats on those. You have your passive abilities, which is your unique skills, which do passive buffs. You got other passive buffs like this. These don't matter as much as the top 2. The top 2 give you more substantial buffs, from what I can see. But again, every character is different. Take the time to kind of look into this. These are pretty easy to upgrade. My concern is not with upgrading these, because it takes 1 minute to gain a skill point, and it maxes at 20 skill points. So within 20 minutes, you can easily upgrade. If you're level 20, you can easily upgrade this every 20 minutes if you wanted to and you weren't going to spread it out. This isn't so bad. This is probably my one okay part that I'm okay with. Going to gear. These are the parts that I'm not crazy about. So, obviously, similar to promoting, you get items to upgrade your character's gear. Your gear can also be enhanced and built up and changed in rarity. My issue with this is that the effects of each particular item is next to nothing. There is very little buffer until you change the rarity of each piece of gear. Going from level 1 to 10, like, very minimal boost whatsoever. Obviously, you can awaken. Now, this is to fully awaken one piece of gear. That's substantial. That's not bad. But the individual level up that you need for each character is not beneficial whatsoever. For example, I'll go down here to Choji. I haven't done anything with Choji here, right? So with this, to go from rank 1 to rank 2. Here we go. To go from rank 1 to rank 2, you only get 3 extra attack. That doesn't benefit you a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. But if I were to sit here and click and enhance, yeah, I can enhance pretty quickly. But and that's a semi-considerate jump. But in the grand scheme of things, unless you like awaken the stuff you have, it's not all that substantial. So in terms of this, if you have the items to do it, definitely do it. But don't force yourself to grind out for these stones off the bat. I would still focus on your skills and your promoting before anything else. And then you have scrolls and talismans, which is essentially the same thing as gear. It's just extra boosts on top of that. And again, the boosts are relatively insufficient in terms of the boosts that you do get. And I would say worry about these the least, because the amount of talisman upgrades that you get in the game, you don't get a whole lot from grinding. You probably will not get a whole lot from grinding until you get further into the main missions, or you get pretty far in the events. But more or less, this is essentially your upgrade system. It's okay. It's just extremely grindy. So my recommendation, like I said, definitely promote, use skills, worry about gear third, worry about talismans last, as it stands right now. This could update in the future. Who knows? We'll have to see down the road. Now, let's go into the next bit of this, and it's probably the one that everybody kind of wants to see. Summons. All right, so here we are on the summon screen. This is your summon screens. There's nothing really else to say. So it's not shown here, but every day you get a free single pull, which is pretty nice. You also get a free multi-item summon every day as well. These item summons are pretty nice. The item summons can give you anything from scrolls to shinobi fragments to get characters, to to Rio pouches to increase the amount of money you get, to EXP vials. There's a lot that you can get in here. Unfortunately, there's no way to view what's in the current item pool, so I'm going to assume that over time, new stuff is going to get added in, or at least rotated out, but we shall see. But your character summons are okay. They go off the star rating, which is the one thing I've always hated in like Future Fight and Galaxy of Heroes and stuff like that. You get a 0.067 chance to get a 4-star UR. So let me kind of break this down before I get further into that, so I apologize. But you got 3 rarity types that currently exist in the game. You have your R, which is, if we go by my Legends videos, my Dragon Ball Legends videos, R is going to be your hero type units. They're okay. They're not all that. Then you have your SRs, which are your extremes, essentially. Some of these are really good. The Shippuden Naruto you get for free in the game. As you can see, I have him basically scaled up the same way as I do my UR Sasuke, and he's still stronger than, he's slightly stronger than my UR Sasuke. So there's certain SRs that are really, really good, very similar to EXs in Dragon Ball Legends. There are a lot of EXs in Dragon Ball Legends that are better than some Sparkings, but it really just depends on their kit and what they have and what they offer. So when you get characters, obviously look into the characters and see if it's within your playstyle, something or just see what their skills are in general. And then you have your URs, which are similar to your Sparkings in Dragon Ball Legends as well. In terms of rates, the rates, like I said, are decent. Again, I'm not a fan of, oh, you can pull for a 3-star UR, but you can also pull for a UR 4-star. I'm just not a fan of this type of setup, personally. But in the end, in terms of your stone gathering is pretty simple and easy to grind out. So I'm not going to really say it's impossible to get certain characters that you want. I think summoning in itself is pretty simple and easy. But 3% rates for URs is kind of the standard. It's nothing crazy. And obviously 40% for SRs is pretty decent. These rates I think are better than getting an extreme in Dragon Ball Legends in terms of getting SRs to extremes, whatever that conversion is between the two. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I could be very wrong. But yeah, so always a chance to get a 4-star for any character that's an SR or UR, but obviously that's not that's neither here or there. You may get it, you may not get it. Tickets, so far the tickets that you get, these tickets, I have a couple tickets here, are ones you get from login bonuses, and these tickets don't expire, which is really nice. I kind of like that this is the case, and I hope going down the road, if they decide to give out more tickets in some capacity, that there is no expiration on these tickets. I think this is really, really good. So Bandai should definitely stick with this particular ticket setup and just keep it as that, at least for the time being. Obviously, you can go to Shinobi Details and see who is featured. The features showcase not only what the main attribute of these characters are, such as this. You can also showcase your special ninjutsu for each character. So just to kind of show you guys. Which is pretty neat. You can also do the same with tribe specials, obviously. And we've seen this. By the way, I said this in the gameplay section of this, but the animations for some of these are really good. The art in particular in this game is fantastic, and I'll show you in a second. But you can look and see what their stats are like. They show you what the stats are for each character at level 50 at 7 stars. Showcases all of their possible abilities. You click and see every single one of their abilities here and whatnot. Legends has started doing this too, so it's really easy to kind of see. And then again, the art is nuts. The art is pretty insane in this as well. I gotta give it to Bandai Namco when they do these sorts of summons, or when they do these types of games where they have the animated like backgrounds and stuff for these character arts. It's stunning to watch. My favorite is this Kakashi though. Kakashi's art is stunning. It looks so cool. I'm sorry, I geek out. Like when I see stuff like this, I geek out. That's really, really cool. And I hope that they stick with this type of art style, because it's props to the art team. Props to the art team. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do one ticket summon just to kind of show you what the animations kind of look like. Hopefully we pull something good. As I've said before, I already have UR Sasuke, so another copy of him would be nice. But I would also like to get Kakashi personally. I don't think we're going to get him, but let's just see. Alright, so we got the Boruto squad. Alright, so very similar to like Dokkan, Dragon Ball Legends, and other games like this. Instead of pulling down, you tap. Now what we want is 4 different stages. So we got 1, 2. We only got the 2. So we got Konkuro. He's new. That was an SR. We got 3-star SR. Which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But those are your summoning animations. I haven't quite learned what the summoning animations are in whole. I know that when you get the 4 stages, it goes Boruto with Naruto. Then it goes Boruto's Jiraiya Naruto. Then I think it goes Boruto with Minato and Naruto's mom. And then the final stage goes to Boruto, Sasuke, Naruto. I think when you get to that final stage, it's a guaranteed UR. Don't quote me on that. I could be 100% wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure if it gets to that 4th stage, it's a guaranteed UR. So keep that in mind. But no, the summons are okay in this. The art's really good. The rates are pretty decent. The fact that you get free item pulls of 10 every day is really neat. And yeah, that's pretty much more or less what summoning is all about. So, all right, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna try and push through this last segment here, but what we're gonna showcase next is the shop and the missions. So we're gonna hop over into that real quick, and then we'll end this video. All right, guys. So we're here in the shop, and I'm not gonna go into this too crazily. I'm not gonna go too in depth with this. So it costs, for these summoning stones, for the shinobi coins, you gotta spend 2,500 to do a multi. So when you first start the game, you're going to get these coin sales here. These are probably going to be your best bang for your buck if you want to invest. This game is very free to play friendly. So there's not a whole lot of necessity right now to really go and invest in these sales. However, if you want to invest in these sales, these are the ones you should probably consider going for these, because altogether, if I go to like the exchange rates, let's go to the exchange rates just to kind of show you guys what the costs are. So for 75 coins, you're spending $75. The way that these prices are kind of showcased, it's about $1 per coin, which is okay. Not crazy amount of savings. It's not like anything too special and whatnot. But hopefully there will be sales down the road in some capacity, kind of like this, I guess. It's unclear if they're going to do it, like, if they're going to work the shop as in, you know, these are the costs for the coins, but the coins that you do end up buying, like, will have sales for this stuff, or if there will actually be sales for the currency itself. So, but yeah, going this route here, obviously, you're going to be able to get about 6 multi-summons out of all this, which is pretty nice. So, you got your daily coin shop. Obviously, this is similar to like your bots and legends. You spend these amount of coins, you get this amount of coins per day over the course of 30 days. You got release celebration stuff. These are basically your Pilaf's Trove in Dokkan. Exchange coins, get materials. Same with the special items shop, same way. And I'm not entirely sure what this blessing level stuff is. I want to believe that this is like your, similar to like the ranking shop, the rank shop in Dokkan, but I can't say for certain. The only downside I see to this is that you have to spend shinobi stones to do it, which I think you got. No, in Dokkan you use actual money, you don't use the stones. So I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if this will be worth it in the long run, but yeah, that's more or less your shop. It's okay. Again, nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. And then last but not least, you got your challenges and your beginning missions. So you get, I can't really show you guys the daily stuff because I more or less completed all the daily stuff. But obviously you go in, do your dailies, you get a decent amount of stones and materials just for doing dailies. You also get account experience to level up your account. Down here is your main. This is just your typical upgrades. or a typical like play the game, do stuff. Log in 7 times, unlock 1 EX tribe special. Like your main stuff is like your account stuff, what you're able to clear, and whatnot. And again, 100 stones, 30, 30, 30. Like you get a decent amount of stuff. And then just for starting the game, if you clear 100 standard missions, which is like all your missions and stuff here, you unlock a decent amount of Rio to kind of go towards, you know, upgrading your characters and whatnot. And if you guys start playing now, there is 30 days where you can actually unlock SR Boruto for free. If you go through and you complete these missions, if you do standard challenges, leveling challenges, promotion challenges, elite challenges, arena challenges, and whatnot, you can get Shinobi fragments for Boruto. And you might be able to get him up, especially if you can summon him too. If you summon him and you get these, you might be able to get him up to 3 or 4 stars. Possibly. It all depends on what your summoning luck looks like. But when you get when you get him to start with, if you can't summon him, he starts at 2 stars. So still worth kind of doing that grind to kind of get a free character out of it. Haven't really tested him out yet, so I don't know how good he is, but that's neither here or there. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for coming with me and watching me do this video. I know this video was a long one, but I appreciate those of you who have stuck around till the end. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about this game in particular, what you guys thought about my first impressions on it. Going forward, I'll have like an alliance set up. I might do more videos like this in the future. In terms of how in-depth we're going to go with it, I'm not sure. We'll probably do summon videos indefinitely because I love doing summoning videos. We'll do like event stuff. We'll do alliance stuff, more or less. And hopefully the game just kind of improves from here. So again, let me know in the comments how you feel about the game. If you played it, let me know if you guys pulled anything fire from the summons. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more content. I will see you guys in the next video. Later.